Hello and welcome, my dear friend. You didn't arrive here by accident. There's a reason you felt drawn to this message, to these words, at this exact moment. Maybe you felt a presence around you that you can't quite explain. Maybe you've been searching for guidance but don't know where to look. Or maybe, just maybe, something inside you has always known. You are not alone in this experience of life. There's an unseen support system, a presence so subtle yet profound, whispering to you in the quiet moments, nudging you toward the right path when logic fails. You may have sensed it in déjà vu, in dreams that feel more real than waking life, in the split-second gut feeling that changed everything. These are not coincidences. They are signs, echoes of a deeper connection. Your spirit guides are always with you. But what are they really? Are they beings separate from you, hovering above, dictating your fate? Are they mystical forces beyond reach? Or could they be something far more personal, more intimate, more intertwined with you than you've ever realized? Most people make the mistake of seeing their guides as distant, external beings, higher, wiser, superior. But that's a half-truth. The reality is far more empowering. Your spirit guides are an extension of you, not something separate, not something greater, but a projection of your own energy, your higher self, your deepest wisdom. Think of it this way. Have you ever had an idea that seemed to come from nowhere? A flash of inspiration that felt more like a memory than a new thought? That's them. Have you ever felt comforted in a moment of despair without knowing why? That's them. Have you ever been on the verge of a decision and felt an inexplicable pull in one direction? That's them as well. You might wonder, if my spirit guides are part of me, then why can't I always hear them clearly? The answer is simple. Noise. Not the kind you hear with your ears, but the constant mental chatter, the distractions of the world, the doubts that cloud your intuition. Your guides are always speaking, but to hear them, you have to learn the language they use, the language of energy. You know this in the deepest parts of your soul, but as a reminder, let's dive into it. The first step, shift your perception. Instead of seeing them as outside forces dictating your life, see them as collaborators, co-creators in your journey. Imagine them as reflections of your own consciousness, fragmented across dimensions, guiding you back to your fullest potential. Now, here's something crucial. Spirit guides don't exist to make choices for you. They're not here to hand you a roadmap with all the answers. They are here to empower you to make your own choices, to remind you of your innate wisdom, to whisper when you forget who you are. And let's address one of the biggest misconceptions: permission. So many people unknowingly use their guides as a crutch, asking them for approval, waiting for them to make the first move. But here's the truth. Your guides are waiting for you to take the lead. They don't want you to ask for permission. They want you to step into your power. Think about it. How many times have you hesitated on a decision, waiting for a sign, hoping the universe would tell you what to do? But what if the sign you were waiting for was your own confidence? What if, instead of asking, "Can I do this?" you simply declared, "I am ready"? The thing is, when you take the lead and make the choices, they become that force you need to make it happen. They become your unstoppable backup. This shift is everything. It's what transforms a passive relationship with your guides into an active, dynamic collaboration. It's what allows their guidance to flow effortlessly, not as commands, but as confirmations of what your soul already knows. But how do you actually connect with them? How do you tune into their presence in a way that is undeniable? Let's go deeper. First, let's dismantle the idea that hearing them requires some supernatural ability. Not everyone will hear a voice, see visions, or receive direct messages. And that's okay. Your guides communicate in ways that resonate with your unique energy. Maybe you're a feeler. sensing their presence through emotions, chills, or an overwhelming sense of love. Maybe you're a thinker, receiving messages through sudden insights, inspired thoughts, or patterns that reveal themselves over time. Or maybe you experience their guidance through signs, synchronicities, repeated numbers, dreams that feel like forgotten memories. Regardless of how it happens, the key is trust. The more you trust, the clearer the connection becomes. The more you second guess, the more distant they seem. Now, let's make this practical. Here are 3 powerful ways to strengthen your connection with your guides. 1. Give them a name. This isn't about labeling them as something they're not. It's about making the connection feel personal. Names carry energy. When you address them directly, you solidify the relationship, making their presence more tangible in your life. 2. Tune into love, not fear. Your guides are extensions of your highest self, and their frequency is love. If you try to connect from a place of fear, doubt, or desperation, you'll only amplify those feelings. But when you center yourself in gratitude, in curiosity, in trust, the connection becomes effortless. 3. Stop looking outward, go inward. This is the most important shift of all. Stop waiting for external signs and start listening to your own inner knowing. Your intuition is the voice of your guides, the bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. And here's something that might surprise you. Your guides are constantly evolving with you. As you grow, they grow. As your awareness expands, so does the depth of their guidance. You are never static, and neither are they. This is why, as you become more attuned to their presence, you'll notice their messages changing. What once felt like whispers may become bold declarations. What once felt like subtle nudges may become undeniable knowing. And eventually, you won't even think of them as separate at all. You'll simply know that their wisdom is your wisdom. At first, it might feel like you're just imagining things. You might question whether what you're sensing is real or if it's just your mind playing tricks on you. But here's the truth. Your intuition is never random. The guidance you receive, those flashes of insight, the words that appear in your mind at the perfect moment, they are all part of the connection. So, how do we make it even clearer? You lean in, you trust more. You start treating their guidance as real before your logical mind even has a chance to question it. When you receive a message, a sign, a feeling, you don't push it away. You don't wait for a second confirmation. You acknowledge it, you accept it, and you act on it. Because here's something else that will shift everything for you. The more you listen, the more they speak. This isn't about them suddenly deciding you're worthy of clearer messages. It's about you deciding that you're ready to hear them. The connection has always been there. It's just been waiting for you to step into it fully. And maybe that's why you're here right now. Maybe something inside you is stirring, knowing that this moment is more than just words on a screen. Maybe this is the moment you finally stop doubting, stop hesitating, and start trusting. Because your guides have been waiting for this. They've been waiting for you. Waiting for you to stop searching outside of yourself and start looking within. Waiting for you to realize that you don't need permission to be powerful. Waiting for you to embrace the truth that has always been there. You are not alone, and you never have been. This is your sign. This is your moment. This is the reminder your soul has been waiting for. So, the next time you feel something, an inner knowing, a pull in a certain direction, a thought that feels like it came from nowhere, honor it. Don't question it. Don't dismiss it. Because that is your connection. That is your spirit team, your higher self, your deepest wisdom reaching out to you. And the more you listen, the louder it becomes. The more you trust, the stronger it gets. Until one day, you'll realize you were never trying to connect with something outside of you. You were simply remembering who you are. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. If you have been doubting yourself lately, this one is for you. God led you here because it's time to hear these words at this exact moment. Maybe you've felt it before, a knowing inside you, a feeling that you were meant to hear something deeper, something that resonates beyond just words. And here you are, exactly where you were always meant to be. You see, we have this tendency, this habit of dismissing what comes naturally to us, what flows effortlessly, as if it's nothing special. We overlook our own brilliance because it doesn't feel like a spectacle, because it doesn't shout for attention. But let me tell you something powerful. Your greatest gift is already in motion. It's not something you need to chase. It's not something you need to earn. It's already a part of you. And we're going to rediscover it together in case you can't see it clearly. Think about it. How many times have you watched someone else and thought, they have something I don't? They have the gift, the confidence, the presence, the vision. But me, I'm just normal. But what if that very thought is the illusion keeping you from seeing yourself clearly? The truth is, what feels ordinary to you is extraordinary to many others. That ability of yours, the one you hardly think about, is the very thing others would trade anything to possess. But because it's familiar, because it doesn't feel like a struggle, you assume it doesn't hold power. But it does, more than you know. There's something divine about the way you navigate life, even in moments where you doubt yourself. You have been equipped with exactly what you need, not just to survive, but to create, to inspire, to rise. And whether you realize it or not, God is using you to show others what's possible. You might not see it yet, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. Pause for a second and ask yourself, when was the last time someone complimented you on something you barely thought about? Something that felt like second nature to you? Maybe they admired the way you spoke. Maybe they saw wisdom in the way you handled a situation. Maybe they were inspired by your resilience, your presence, your energy, and yet you brushed it off. Why? Because we assume value only exists in struggle. If something doesn't feel hard-earned, we hesitate to see it as special. But that's a lie. Some things are gifted to you because you were meant to carry them effortlessly. You don't have to fight to prove your worth. You don't have to keep looking outside yourself, comparing, wondering if you measure up. The fact that you are here, listening to this message, means you were already chosen. And you don't need anything more than what you already have. You are enough. In fact, more than enough. Now you might be wondering, if I have what it takes, why don't I see the results I want? But that's the trick of the world, isn't it? It convinces you that if you don't see immediate proof, you must be lacking. But what if I told you the shift happens the moment you start seeing yourself differently? The moment you stop discrediting yourself and start owning what's already yours. Your life is not random. Your gifts are not random. God placed something in you that wasn't meant to be hidden. And whether you believe it yet or not, the way you carry yourself, the way you show up, the way you simply exist, it's already making an impact. But here's the catch. When you don't acknowledge your own gifts, you block yourself from stepping fully into them. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone walking into a pitch-black room, holding a flashlight, but forgetting to turn it on. They stand there, frozen, thinking they're lost. They assume the path isn't there. They assume they have nothing to guide them, but all along, the power was already in their hands. You are that person. Your light has never been missing. It's been there all along, waiting for you to recognize it. What if you stopped second-guessing yourself? What if you started believing in your own wisdom the way you believe in everyone else's? Because here's the truth. The world is watching you in ways you can't even see. People are being inspired by you in moments you aren't even aware of. The way you move, the way you speak, the way you hold yourself, it's affecting others. You are someone's confirmation. You are someone's proof that something greater is possible. But if you don't believe it, how can you fully step into it? There's a shift happening right now, a realization, a moment where you're seeing things differently. This is not just another day. This is not just another message. This is a wake-up call. Everything you've been searching for has already been placed inside you. The world may have conditioned you to doubt it, to minimize it, to wait for validation. But what if I told you, you don't need permission to step into your own power? God doesn't place gifts in us by accident. And this isn't about arrogance, this isn't about ego. This is about understanding that when you finally own what's already inside you, you unlock something divine, not just for yourself, but for everyone you're meant to impact. You've spent so much time looking outward, wondering if you measure up, wondering if you're doing enough, wondering if you're chosen, when the reality is, you were already called before you even knew to question it. So, what happens now? You start paying attention. You start listening. The next time someone acknowledges something powerful in you, don't dismiss it. The next time you feel that pull toward something greater, don't ignore it. The next time you sense that nudge, whether it's a whisper in your mind, a stirring in your heart, or an undeniable sign, act on it. Because the truth is, you are not missing anything. You are not behind or inadequate. As hard as it is in difficult times to believe it, you are exactly where you need to be. And God is using you to show the world what's possible. Now, let this sink in for a moment. Breathe into it. Let it settle in your heart, because what I'm about to share next will take you even deeper into this realization. What if I told you that everything you've been waiting for, every sign, every confirmation, every external validation, has already been given to you? Not in the way you expect, but in the way that truly matters. You're not waiting for permission. You're waiting for realization. The moment you shift your perception, the moment you stop seeing yourself as someone who needs something and start seeing yourself as someone who already has it, that is the moment your reality begins to shift. And that is why God is using you right now, even if you don't feel ready, even if you don't feel worthy, even if you think you have nothing special to offer. Because you see, God doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. And you, my friend, have been called. Think of the people you admire, the ones who inspire you, the ones who make you believe that more is possible. Do you think they always knew they had something special? Do you think they were born with unshakable confidence in their own gifts? No, they had doubts, just like you. They questioned themselves, just like you. But at some point, they chose to stop waiting and start stepping into what was already inside them. And that's where you are right now, standing on the edge of something bigger than you realize, feeling that pull, that nudge, that whisper saying, "It's time." But what will you do with it? Will you keep brushing it off? Will you keep convincing yourself that you need just a little more proof, more time, more clarity, before you can step fully into it? Or will you finally recognize that everything you need has already been given to you? Because the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live is the way you see yourself. Let's take a moment to really sit with this. Think back to every moment where you felt unqualified, every time you compared yourself to someone else and thought, they have something I don't. Now flip the perspective. What if someone else is looking at you right now thinking the exact same thing? What if someone has been inspired by the way you carry yourself, even in moments of uncertainty? What if someone sees strength in you that you've never even acknowledged? Because they do. There are people watching you, learning from you, being moved by you, even if they never say it out loud. And that's why it's time to stop playing small. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be invisible. You were meant to stand out, not in a way that demands attention, but in a way that radiates something undeniable. And the moment you stop resisting that truth, everything changes. This is where God is using you, not in the grand orchestrated moments where everything is perfect, but in the quiet, in the way you show up for your life, even when you don't have all the answers. Because someone, somewhere, is watching. And to them, you are the proof that something greater is possible. You might not feel ready or still have doubts, but readiness isn't a feeling. It's a decision, and you are ready. You are ready to stop doubting and start trusting. Ready to stop searching and start recognizing. You are ready to step into everything that has already been placed inside you. So what does this actually look like? It looks like waking up tomorrow with a different mindset. It looks like catching yourself in those moments of self-doubt and choosing to see them differently. It looks like embracing the idea that you already have enough. It looks like allowing yourself to receive. Because here's the thing, when you keep telling yourself that you're not there yet, that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, you're blocking yourself from receiving what has already been prepared for you. God isn't waiting to bless you, He already did it. He's waiting for you to be open enough to receive it, and sometimes receiving simply means changing the way you see yourself. So take this moment right now, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what if I've been ready this whole time? What if every hesitation, every doubt, every excuse has been the only thing standing in my way? What if, right here, right now, I choose to believe in my own divine timing? Because there are no accidents, there are no mistakes. You were meant to hear this, and now, what you do with it is up to you. So if you're ready to step into this truth, if you're ready to acknowledge what has been waiting for you all along, let's make this real. If you've been seeing repeating numbers, 111, 222, 333, comment which one has been showing up for you. Let's confirm the energy that is already moving through you. Because this moment, it's not just another message, it's a confirmation. You were made for this, and now, finally, you know. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Right now, in this very moment, something extraordinary is happening. You are outside of time, not in the way we usually think about it. The clock is still ticking. The days are still passing, but you are here, aware, existing in a space where past, present, and future are blending together in ways that most people never stop to notice. Because time, at least the way we've been told to see it, is not what it seems. Think about it. How often have you measured your life by age, by deadlines, by expectations that were handed to you before you even had the chance to question them? You were told that by a certain age, you should have certain things, be in certain places, act a certain way. And maybe, for a while, you tried to keep up with that invisible rule book. But here's the real question. Who wrote those rules? And more importantly, do they actually belong to you? Because what if the biggest limitation in your life right now isn't your circumstances, your abilities, or even the world around you, but the invisible timeline you've been trying to keep up with? What if age was never meant to be a countdown? What if success was never meant to have a deadline? What if the only thing keeping you from feeling completely, undeniably free is the belief that you're running out of time? Because, let's be honest, how many of your dreams have been put on hold, not because they're impossible, but because you convinced yourself they were meant for a different time? Maybe you told yourself it was too late, or maybe you told yourself it was too early, that you weren't ready yet. Either way, the result was the same. You paused. You hesitated. You let the weight of expectation press down on you until you started believing that certain things were only possible at certain points in life. But what if that was never true? Think about it. Who decided that success, love, or personal fulfillment had to come with an expiration date? Why do we accept this idea that youth is for dreaming, adulthood is for working, and old age is for regretting the things we didn't do when we had the chance? It's not real. It never was. And yet, most people live their entire lives trapped inside that illusion, measuring their worth against a timeline that was never theirs to begin with. But not you. Because you're here. You're questioning. You're waking up to the truth that time is not a rigid path. It's a space, a perspective. And when you understand that, something shifts. Suddenly, regret begins to disappear. Opportunities don't run out anymore. They start appearing everywhere because you're no longer filtering them through the lens of too early or too late. And most importantly, you stop seeing yourself as incapable of becoming or achieving something simply because it doesn't fit into society's scripted timeline. You stop aging, at least in the way the world expects you to. Because the moment you detach yourself from this artificial sense of time, something incredible happens. You don't just pass through life anymore, you live it. If this is speaking to you, if something inside of you is lighting up right now, drop 888 in the comments, because that number is a symbol of infinite possibility. And if you're here, I already know that's exactly what's opening up for you. Think about how different your days would feel if you weren't constantly trying to catch up to an invisible deadline. How much energy would you regain if you stopped asking yourself, "Am I where I'm supposed to be?" and started asking, "Does this feel right to me?" Because that's the real key here. It's not about ignoring time completely. It's about using it differently. It's about recognizing that deadlines, goals, and milestones are only useful when they come from within you, not when they are handed to you by a society that treats age like a ticking bomb. So let me ask you, have you ever stopped to ask yourself if the future you're working toward is truly the one you want? Or have you just assumed that the things you should want, the career, the house, the status, the lifestyle, are what will actually fulfill you? Because there's a difference between a life that impresses others and a life that fulfills you. And sometimes we spend so long chasing the former that we don't even realize we've lost sight of the latter. But here's the beautiful thing. The moment you start choosing the things that truly resonate with you, instead of the things you've been told you should want, time begins to bend in your favor. It stops feeling like a race. You stop feeling behind, because you're no longer measuring your life by how well it fits into someone else's script. Instead, you're moving in sync with something much more powerful, your own internal rhythm. And when that happens, everything changes, because the universe isn't following a human-made timeline. It doesn't care if you think you should have achieved something by 30, 40, or 70. It only responds to energy, to the choices you make, to the way you show up for your own path. And when you start living in a way that aligns with what truly matters to you, you'll notice something strange. The things you once struggled to achieve suddenly start happening effortlessly. Why? because you're no longer resisting the flow of your own life. And when you stop resisting, life takes you to places you never even imagined. I say this with absolute certainty. When you release the pressure of artificial timelines, when you step fully into the flow of your own energy, you start seeing things differently. You start noticing the signs, the synchronicities, the subtle ways the universe nudges you in the right direction. And maybe, for the first time in a long time, you actually start to feel at home in your own life. Because you're no longer trying to fit yourself into a timeline that was never designed for you. You're creating your own. And let me tell you, there is nothing more powerful than a person who realizes they are free. It feels like you're aging backward. Things that once seemed impossible start to feel possible, and stagnation begins to feel like fruition. And this is just the beginning. And once you see it, once you truly see it, there's no going back. Because when you break free from the illusion of time as a limitation, you start living in a completely different reality. A reality where regret doesn't exist. Because regret only thrives in a world where you believe you've missed something. But what if you accepted, right now, that nothing was ever truly missed? That every experience, every choice, even the so-called delays in your life, were all part of a greater rhythm, a perfect unfolding that was never meant to follow society's clock. Because think about it. How many times have you looked back on your life and realized that something you once saw as a failure was actually a redirection? How many times did you think something was happening too late, only to realize later that it happened at the exact right time? This is the truth that changes everything. There is no right timing. There is only divine timing. And divine timing doesn't operate on human deadlines. It moves in ways that don't always make sense in the moment. But when you trust it, when you stop trying to force things to fit into artificial time frames, you begin to see just how much was always working in your favor. And that's when something incredible happens. Suddenly, opportunities start revealing themselves, not because they weren't there before, but because you've finally stopped filtering them through the lens of too soon or too late. You stop feeling like you have to rush to achieve something, because you understand that nothing truly meant for you will ever pass you by. And maybe, for the first time, you start seeing age, not as a countdown, not as a limitation, but as something entirely irrelevant to what's possible for you. Because let's talk about that for a second. How many people do you think have given up on something? Not because they didn't have the potential, not because they didn't have the ability, but simply because they believed they were too old to start. How many dreams were abandoned because someone looked at a calendar instead of looking within themselves? And how many people never even started because they convinced themselves they had missed their chance? But then there are the others. The ones who ignored the numbers. The ones who decided that age was nothing but a detail, that their dreams didn't come with an expiration date. The ones who started something at 40, 50, 60, and changed their entire lives because they refused to believe they were too late. And let's be clear, it works the other way too. How many young people hold themselves back because they believe they're too early? Because they think they need to wait before they can step into their power, their success, their potential. But here's the truth. The people who live the most extraordinary lives aren't the ones who follow a timeline. They're the ones who ignore it completely. The ones who start when they feel called to start. The ones who reinvent themselves at any age. The ones who don't care if society thinks they should wait or if it's too late. Because they understand that life doesn't operate on a fixed schedule. And the second you embrace that truth, really embrace it, you unlock something that most people never do. A sense of freedom so powerful that it changes the way you experience everything. Because suddenly, You're not bound by the expectations of time anymore. You don't see aging as a loss, you see it as an expansion. You don't see delays as failures, you see them as alignment. And most importantly, you stop hesitating. You stop waiting for permission. You stop measuring yourself against a world that is stuck in its own illusions. Because you finally understand, deeply, undeniably, that your life is not meant to fit into a timeline. Your life is meant to fit you. And if that means starting something new at 20, do it. If it means walking away from something at 50, do it. If it means reinventing yourself at 70, do it. Because let me tell you something, the universe doesn't care about your age. The universe doesn't hand out opportunities based on how many years you've been here. It responds to energy. It responds to people who are willing to step outside the illusion of time and into the reality of possibility. And if you're still listening to this, I already know something about you. You are one of those people. You are not here for an average life. You are not here to follow a script written by someone else. You are here to experience the fullness of life, not on a timeline, not according to the clock, but exactly as it unfolds for you. And maybe that's the only thing you ever really needed to know, that it's not too late, that it's not too early, that it's just timeless. And that's exactly where you're headed. Because now that you see it, now that you truly understand, there's no going back. This is your moment, and you are exactly where you need to be. I see you, I believe in you, and I can't wait to hear about what happens next, because I already know it's going to be incredible. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. There's a reason you've found yourself here today, and it's not by accident. Sometimes, life can feel like an uphill climb, where every step forward feels heavier than the last. You might wonder if anyone notices, if anyone truly sees the effort, the quiet battles, the moments you push through when no one's watching. But here's what I want you to know right now. Even angels are rooting for you. Yes, you heard that right. Imagine for a moment a vast expanse beyond what the eyes can see, a realm of pure light, where the energy of unconditional love flows endlessly. In that space, your name echoes, your journey is seen, and there are beings, pure, radiant beings, who are actively cheering you on. You may not always feel it. The weight of this world can be so loud, drowning out the subtleties of spiritual whispers. But even in those moments when you feel most alone, there are angels leaning in closer, wrapping you in a protective energy, urging you forward, saying, "Keep going, you've got this." It might seem hard to believe. After all, how often do we dismiss the idea that something divine could be paying attention to us, cheering for us? We tell ourselves, why would I be special enough for that kind of attention? But let me ask you, why wouldn't you be? Think about it. Every time you've faced something impossible and still found a way through, wasn't there a force greater than yourself helping you? Every near miss, every sudden realization, every inexplicable stroke of luck. Could it be that someone was watching over you? We tend to imagine angels as distant ethereal beings floating in some otherworldly realm, disconnected from our daily struggles. But what if that's not entirely true? What if angels aren't just watching, but participating, rooting, supporting, guiding? What if, in the quietest moments of your life, you're surrounded by more love and encouragement than you've ever realized? Close your eyes for a second and think about this. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast arena. the kind where victories are earned through heart and determination. And in the stands, countless beings are watching, cheering, not because they're judging you, but because they already know your strength. They know your potential. They see the light within you that sometimes you forget is even there. They see the unique tapestry of your life, the challenges you've overcome, and the resilience you've demonstrated. And here's the incredible part. They're not cheering for you because you've earned it. They're cheering because you exist, because your life, your presence, your very being is worth celebrating. But I know what you might be thinking. If angels are really rooting for me, why does life feel so hard sometimes? Why do I feel like I'm walking this path alone? And that's a valid question, one I think about often. The thing is, even when we have the most loving support around us, both seen and unseen, this life is about growth, about discovery. It's about finding strength in places we didn't know we had it. And sometimes, that means walking through challenges that feel too heavy, too painful, because there's a lesson in those hard moments. But just because you're walking through those moments doesn't mean you're doing it alone. Think about a toddler learning to walk. Their parent stands nearby, arms outstretched, ready to catch them if they fall. But the child still stumbles, still wobbles, still falls sometimes. Why? Because that's how they learn. But all the while the parent is there, encouraging, smiling, maybe even tearing up with pride at every tiny, imperfect step forward. That's how your angels are with you. They see your effort. They feel your heart. They know how hard you're trying, and even when you fall, they don't see failure. They see progress. They see someone courageous enough to try again. And here's something you might not have realized. Every time you get back up, every time you choose to keep going, it sends a ripple through the spiritual world. It's like your soul is saying, I'm still here. I'm still in this. And when that happens, the support gets stronger. Your light shines a little brighter. But what about those moments when you feel utterly disconnected? When the world feels cold and the silence feels deafening? That's when the angels come closest. That's when they wrap their energy around you, whispering, you're stronger than you think. Keep going. Have you ever felt an inexplicable sense of peace in the middle of chaos? Or a sudden burst of clarity when you were drowning in confusion? That wasn't random. That was support. That was a reminder, subtle but profound, that you are being watched over, even when you can't see it. And you don't have to be perfect to deserve that kind of love. You don't have to have it all figured out. In fact, the angels support you because of your imperfections, not despite them. They see the bravery in your vulnerability, the beauty in your struggle, and the immense power in your will to keep moving forward. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you gave yourself credit for how far you've come? Not just the big milestones, but the quiet victories. The days you got out of bed when everything in you wanted to give up. The moments you chose kindness when anger would have been easier. The times you held on to hope, even when everything seemed dark. These are the moments that angels celebrate. These are the victories that echo through the spiritual realms. You don't need grand achievements to be worthy of their support. You already are. And here's something beautiful to consider. The more you acknowledge their presence, the more you'll feel it. It's like tuning a radio. The signal has always been there, but when you adjust the dial just right, the message becomes clearer. Now, I'm not saying you need to sit in silence for hours or master some complex spiritual practice. Sometimes, all it takes is a simple intention, a quiet moment where you close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and think, I'm open to receiving the love and support that's here for me. It's in that openness that magic happens. And if you've been seeing repeating patterns lately, hearing someone saying exactly what's on your mind, a song lyric that resonates, repeating numbers on the clock. Know that these are often our signs from your guides and angels, gentle reminders that they're near, that they're listening. So, if you've noticed any of these, or any repeated patterns that keep showing up, drop them in the comments. It's a way of acknowledging that connection, of saying, I see you too. And if you haven't seen any of those signs yet, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're any less supported. Sometimes the signs come in the form of feelings, subtle nudges, or moments of synchronicity that seem too perfect to be coincidences. Maybe it's that friend who called you right when you needed someone, or that random piece of advice you overheard that spoke directly to your situation. These are whispers from the universe, gentle reminders that you are being guided. But here's something even more profound. Your angels aren't just rooting for you from a distance. They're interacting with your life in ways you may not even realize. Think about the times when you narrowly avoided something harmful, or when a sudden idea led you to a better path. These moments are not random. They're like divine breadcrumbs, placed along your path to guide you, protect you, and remind you of the greater plan at play. And there's something even deeper. These angels, these divine beings, aren't just cheering for you because of what you do. They're cheering for who you are, for your essence, your light, your soul. Even in your lowest moments, even when you feel furthest from your purpose, their love for you doesn't waver. It's constant, unwavering, unconditional. But there's a question I want to pose to you. If angels are rooting for you, if they're guiding you and cheering you on, what would your life look like if you lived as if you truly believed that? Would you still doubt your path as much? Would you still question your worth? Or would you step forward with a little more confidence, knowing that you're supported in ways you can't fully see? Imagine waking up tomorrow with the deep, unshakable belief that there are forces beyond this world championing you. How would that change the way you approach your day? Would you be more at peace? Would you be kinder to yourself? Because here's the truth. You have permission to shine. The universe, the angels, the divine, they're all waiting for you to recognize the brilliance within yourself. They're waiting for you to realize that you've been enough all along. But it starts within. It starts with the belief that you are worthy of this divine support. And in that realization comes power. The power to move forward with confidence. Angels root for you because of the light within you. When you embrace that light, you become an angel in someone else's life. Take a moment, close your eyes. I am guided, I am supported, I am enough. Feel that truth. Stay open, stay hopeful, and remember, you are infinitely loved. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. You know, sometimes life feels like this endless maze, doesn't it? We walk around, turning corners, bumping into walls, thinking, am I even going the right way? There's this unspoken pressure, like there's a perfect path we're supposed to be on, like there's a right way to live. And if we don't match up, if our steps feel a little too slow, too fast, too sideways, we start wondering, am I messing this up? Take a deep breath. That pressure sitting on your chest, let it go, just for a moment. You see, there isn't just one way to live this life. There isn't some hidden manual you missed out on, or a perfect formula that everyone else got handed except you. Your way, the twists, the pauses, the leaps you've taken, is not just okay. It's divinely orchestrated. Every time you've chosen to follow your own rhythm, even when others didn't get it, even when they questioned you, that was you saying, "I trust God's path for me, even if it looks nothing like yours." And trust me, that's a powerful thing. But I get it. It's hard sometimes. Maybe even right now, you're thinking about how your life looks compared to others. Maybe your friends took the traditional routes, steady careers, clear goals, ticking off the life checkboxes. And there you are, walking this winding road that sometimes feels more like a scribble on a page than a straight line. It's natural to wonder, am I behind? Am I lost? There's absolutely no other place and no other way you should be except right here and right now. Think about this for a moment. What if life isn't about reaching certain milestones at a specific time? What if it's about living in a way that resonates with your soul, even if that means your entire life looks wildly different from everyone else's? Have you ever seen a garden where every flower blooms at the exact same time, in a same way? Of course not. Some sprout early, some take their sweet time, and yet each one is beautiful in its own way. You're that rare flower that blooms in its own season, untouched by opinions of others. But I know it's not always easy to feel that way, especially when even the people closest to you, maybe your family, your friends, or even your partner, have paths that look nothing like yours. And sometimes their doubts, their concerns, even their silence can feel like echoes in your mind. Why can't you just do it like everyone else? Why are you always so different? But let me tell you something. Your uniqueness is your strength. The very fact that you've chosen to live life on your own terms, in your own rhythm, is a signal that you trust something bigger than the world's expectations. You trust the power that God has placed within you. And here's the thing. When you pause for just a moment, when you shrug off those heavy layers of expectations, you'll notice something incredible. You have always been enough, right now, as you are. Not when you achieve the next goal, not when you finally meet some imaginary standard, right now. I wonder, how many times have you doubted yourself simply because others couldn't see your vision? How often have you questioned your choices, not because they felt wrong to you, but because they didn't align with what the world called normal? It happens to the best of us. Even the strongest souls feel that pull, that temptation to mold themselves into something more acceptable, more understandable. But you've kept going. Maybe with a few stumbles, maybe with moments of doubt, but you've kept going. And that says more about your strength than any outside validation ever could. So, take it easy. Really, breathe. You don't need to rush. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. And you certainly don't need to carry the weight of proving your path is valid. It already is, just by you walking it, trusting it, living it. Let me ask you, what's one moment in your life when you felt completely aligned, like the world's noise faded away and you were exactly where you were supposed to be? Hold that feeling for a second. That's the energy I want you to tap into more often. That peace, that certainty, it's already within you. And hey, if you've made it this far with me, maybe drop a 777 or I am enough in the comments. Let's fill this space with that divine energy, that reminder that none of us are behind or broken. We're all just walking our own beautiful, unique paths. And now that you're holding on to that feeling, that moment of alignment, I want you to realize something else. That inner peace you felt, it wasn't because everything around you was perfect. It wasn't because life finally checked all the right boxes. It was because in that moment, you let go. You stopped resisting. You trusted. That's the real secret here. Trusting that your path, no matter how unconventional or misunderstood, is not only valid, but also divinely guided. God never asked you to be perfect. He just asked you to trust. But here's the catch. Trusting isn't always about bold leaps or grand decisions. Sometimes it's in the quiet moments, when you choose rest over hustle, when you sit in stillness rather than rushing to fix things, when you simply say, "I don't have all the answers right now," and that's okay. That's trust. That's surrender. And it's powerful. Have you ever noticed how rivers carve through mountains, not by force, but through patience and persistence? They don't rush. They don't doubt their path. They just flow, effortlessly. And over time, they create landscapes so stunning they take your breath away. That's you, flowing through life, shaping something incredible, even if it doesn't look like much right now. But I know sometimes the waiting gets heavy. Sometimes it feels like you're the only one moving against the current, like everyone else has it figured out while you're still trying to read the map. But remember this, the most beautiful destinations are often the hardest to reach, and you're already on your way. Think about it. How many people have walked the same old paths, following the same footsteps, only to feel empty when they reach the end? But you chose something different. You chose your way. And that takes courage. It takes faith. And whether you realize it or not, it's inspiring more people than you know. Yes, even when it feels like no one understands you. Even when your family questions your choices or your friends can't quite see your vision. That's okay. They don't have to. Your path was never meant to be understood by everyone. It was meant for you, and for the few who will find hope and courage through your example. You're showing the world that it's possible to live life authentically, even when it doesn't match society's blueprint. That you can trust in something higher, even when the way forward isn't crystal clear. And that kind of living, it's rare, it's bold, it's divine. Now here's something I want you to consider. What if the very reason you feel out of sync with the world is because you were never meant to fit into it? What if you were designed to stand out, to show others that there's another way? A softer, truer, freer way. And that's exactly why God said, take it easy. Because when you relax into who you really are, when you stop fighting so hard to fit in or to prove yourself, that's when the magic happens. That's when doors open effortlessly. That's when the right people, the right opportunities, the right moments find you, not because you forced them, but because you aligned with them. So today, let's make a promise. A soft one, a gentle one. Let's promise to take it a little easier, to trust a little more, to let go of the heavy need to have it all figured out. Because deep down, your soul already knows the way. It always has. And if no one has told you this lately, let me be the one to say it. You are doing better than you think. Truly. Even on the days when you feel lost, even on the days when doubts creep in, you are still moving forward, still growing, still becoming the person you were always meant to be. So the next time you feel that wave of pressure rising, that urge to fix, to rush, to compare, pause, breathe, and remember these words. God said, take it easy. Let that be your anchor. And before we wrap this up, I'd love for you to share in the comments. What's one thing you're going to let go of today? Maybe it's self-doubt, maybe it's the need to compare, or maybe it's just the weight of feeling like you're not doing enough. Whatever it is, release it here. Let's create a space filled with freedom, trust, and gentle reminders that we are all on our unique, beautiful paths. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Let's talk about a truth that many awakened souls know. Seeing the world clearly often means feeling more pain. If you've been experiencing spiritual awakening, and as you know, it's an ongoing journey, not a one-time thing, you'll resonate with these words deeply. Being awake means that you see life as it really is. While most people enjoy a simple, comfortable view of the world, those of us who have awakened to deeper truths notice the harsh realities hidden behind everyday smiles. We feel emotions more deeply, and sometimes that awareness brings sorrow and struggle along with joy. It's as if the clarity we gain opens our hearts to both the beauty and the hurt of life. This heightened sensitivity can be overwhelming, and it is one reason why many awakened souls suffer more than those who remain unaware. You may have experienced moments when your heart felt heavy simply because you noticed what others overlooked. A small act of kindness might highlight the cruelty around you, or a quiet moment of reflection might remind you of the injustice in the world. Such moments make you wonder why you have been chosen to carry this burden of clarity. But know this: your pain is not a punishment. It is a sign of your deep connection to truth, a connection that many others have never felt. This awareness can leave you feeling isolated at times. When you try to share your thoughts, you may find that others prefer to live in a comforting fog, choosing not to see the world as it really is. You might feel alone in your journey because few understand what it means to feel so deeply. Yet, in your isolation, there is also a strength that you may not fully recognize. You are among those rare souls who are brave enough to face reality head-on, to accept both its beauty and its imperfections. In your everyday life, this awareness can show up in simple yet profound ways. You might notice the small details that others miss: a gentle shift in someone's expression, a subtle change in the tone of a conversation, or the quiet sadness behind a forced smile. These details add up, forming a clear picture of the world that is both enlightening and, at times, heart-wrenching. Have you ever wondered if this extra sensitivity is a curse or a gift? It might feel like both. The pain you experience is real, but so is the insight it brings. As you move through your day, you may find that even routine moments become filled with significance. The rising sun might remind you of new beginnings, while a quiet evening could stir memories of past challenges. Each moment carries its own lesson, and every lesson brings you closer to understanding who you truly are. Remember, every time you feel the weight of this awareness, you are also growing stronger. This growth is a slow and steady process, one that requires you to confront your feelings and learn from them. Sometimes, you might feel frustrated by the disconnect between your inner world and the reality that others accept without question. It can seem as if the simplicity of ordinary life is a barrier to the deep insights you crave. But this struggle is part of your unique path. Your journey is not meant to be easy or comfortable. It is meant to reveal the hidden layers of life, even if that means facing some hard truths along the way. Take a moment to appreciate the courage it takes to see beyond the surface. Not everyone has the strength to question everything and search for deeper meaning. Your awareness is a powerful tool that allows you to understand life on a level that few ever experience. Even though it can be painful, it also opens up the possibility of true transformation and inner peace. It's important to know awakening is not just about pain and lessons. It broadens the spectrum of emotions. While pain may bring more suffering, the joy you discover is infinitely more exhilarating and profound. If any of this resonates with you, consider leaving an 1111 in the comments below. 1111 is a powerful number symbolizing spiritual awakening, manifestation, and alignment with your higher self, which you're experiencing right now. Your thoughts and experiences are valued, and by sharing them, you help create a community of kindred souls who understand that the pain of awakening is also the beginning of real growth. It's a reminder that you're on the right path and your inner wisdom is guiding you towards your true purpose. Remember, the struggle you feel is not in vain. It is a part of a process that refines your inner self and guides you toward a more genuine, heartfelt existence. Embrace your sensitivity, for it is a sign of your deep, unwavering commitment to truth and authenticity. Now, let's explore how to navigate the challenges that come with deep spiritual awareness. Many who awaken to life's deeper truths find that the sensitivity which opens them to beauty also exposes them to heartache. This heightened perception can sometimes feel like a constant storm, but there are ways to ease the tension and find balance amidst the turmoil. When you're acutely aware of life's intricacies, even everyday events can stir strong emotions. You might find yourself deeply moved by a stranger's smile or pained by the sight of injustice. It is not uncommon for such moments to leave you wondering why the world seems so heavy. Instead of dismissing these emotions, consider them valuable signals from within. They are a call to look closer at your inner world and understand what you truly value. In these times, a simple pause, a moment to breathe and reflect, can help calm your mind and give you the strength to face another day. Remember, you are stronger than the storm, and the important thing to know is, this too shall pass. It's a phase, not a permanent state of being. It may help to adopt small, practical practices that bring clarity and comfort. For instance, setting aside a few minutes each day for quiet reflection can ground you. Whether it's through journaling your thoughts or taking a mindful walk, these moments allow you to process your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. Recognize that feeling deeply is not a flaw, it is a powerful gift. With each moment of introspection, you learn more about what truly matters, and gradually you begin to see patterns in your emotions. Ask yourself, what can I learn from today's pain? What message is my heart trying to share? It's also important to set gentle boundaries. Sometimes the world's harshness can become too much to bear. If you notice that certain situations or conversations leave you drained, it is okay to step back and take care of yourself. This isn't about avoiding reality. It's about giving yourself the space needed to heal and regain balance. Remember that self-care isn't selfish. It is a necessary act of kindness towards yourself. Take a moment of peace. In the midst of these challenges, it can be comforting to find a community or a friend who understands your perspective. Sharing your experiences with someone who listens without judgment can lighten the weight of your emotions. Sometimes, a quiet conversation or a simple gesture of support can remind you that your journey is shared by others, even if the path looks different for each person. As you continue to walk this road, it might be helpful to focus on small victories rather than waiting for grand moments of clarity. Notice the times when a difficult emotion passes or when a challenging day brings a spark of understanding. These moments, however fleeting, are signs that you are growing. They are the building blocks of resilience that will help you manage the pain and celebrate the joy that comes with living authentically. Reflect on these instances and ask, what small change did I notice today? How did this experience help shape who I am becoming? It is natural to sometimes feel lost or overwhelmed when life feels too intense. In those moments, try to reconnect with simple pleasures that remind you of the beauty in the world. It might be the sound of rain on a window, the taste of your favorite meal, or a brief moment of laughter shared with a friend. These small experiences are like anchors, keeping you grounded when the tides of emotion run high. By focusing on these tangible details, you create a buffer against the overwhelming weight of deeper truths. Another valuable approach is to embrace the idea of growth through struggle. The challenges you face are not meant to break you, but to help you learn more about who you are and what you truly desire from life. Each hurdle is an opportunity to build a stronger, more compassionate version of yourself. When difficulties arise, try to see them as lessons rather than as barriers. Ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me? How can this hardship guide me towards a brighter path? By reframing challenges in this way, you transform pain into a stepping stone for personal evolution. Ultimately, the journey of a spiritually awakened soul is one of both struggle and incredible beauty. While it might seem like the weight of your awareness is a burden, it is also a pathway to a richer, more meaningful life. As you learn to navigate the highs and lows, you unlock new depths within yourself that many never discover. Rise above the storm and trust that with every challenge comes the chance to unlock your true potential. Take heart in knowing that the pain you feel is part of a larger process of transformation. It is the very experience that will help you emerge more compassionate, wiser, and more connected to the true essence of life. Embrace this path with an open heart, knowing that each moment of struggle is an invitation to grow into the best version of yourself. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.